As a lifelong fan of Batman and the Dark Knight saga, it's been quite a roller coaster ride watching the evolution of Gotham City's protector over the years. And I must say, I find myself more captivated by the city's rogues gallery than our hero himself. Uh, the publication of the 27th issue of Detective Comics on March 30, 1939, marked an unforgettable shift in the world of comics. Invented by artists Bob Kane and writer Bill Finger, Batman, a superhero, captivated fans of all ages for many years to come with his extraordinary appeal. The broad appeal of the crime fighter lies in his admirable character and strong moral values. Since he lacks supernatural abilities, people find him relatable with adequate preparation and a wealthy background. Anyone could become Batman. All they need is an encounter with Ra's al Ghul and a father on the Forbes rich list. Although Batman is undeniably awesome, following his live action films and TV series can sometimes feel exasperating, particularly in today's era. It seems that the stories surrounding this superhero are rarely crafted exactly as fans desire. There are numerous complications which may stem from Batman himself or the fictional universe he inhabits. Even critically praised productions have their share of annoying elements. While these issues might not tarnish Batman's image, DC enthusiasts would undoubtedly more content if such difficulties didn't arise. Six Batman rarely shows up in his own universe. Instead of relying on Batman to save the day, fans of DC live action productions might find themselves frustrated. Despite the production of almost 20 live action movies and TV shows set in Batman's universe since the new millennium, the Caped Crusader has only appeared in 9, with some appearances merely as brief cameos. And they provide them on People Into. And as for seeing Batman on television, that dream remains unfulfilled. Unlike Superman, who frequently graces the silver screen, Batman is primarily confined to it. But his presence isn't always assured. For instance, he didn't feature in either of Todd Phillips' Joker films, as Bruce Wayne was too young at that time. Similarly, he was absent from James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Is scarcity justifiable? Superman proves that a superhero doesn't need to be scarce to be interesting. The Kryptonian has been thriving on the small screen for years, yet news of David Corenswet's casting for James Gunn's movies still caused plenty of delight. Beyond that, the popular 1966 show confirms that Batman, just like Superman, can be interesting on television. This is also evident in the animated space, where shows like and stand out as some of the best DC productions ever made. The same villains appear over and over. It seems that out of more than 100 villains in Batman's rogue gallery, Warner Brothers tends to focus on just a few repeat offenders, and this pattern suggests a preference for certain characters, such as the Joker, Penguin, Riddler, and Two-Face in live action adaptations. The Joker, in particular, is frequently used and is currently rumored to appear in, despite having already starred in 2 standalone films. Uh, it's time to end the monotony. While the Joker remains captivating for many DC fans, it wouldn't hurt to take a break from this character for a while, considering the numerous portrayals by actors like Joaquin Phoenix and Jared Leto. In the meantime, let's give other notable villains such as Solomon Grundy, Anarchy, and Mad Hatter the opportunity to wreak havoc in Gotham. Introducing anti-heroes like Red Hood and Deathstroke would also bring a fresh perspective. The Penguin can be spared since his solo show already provides ample entertainment. Everything film gets compared to The Dark Knight, and mostly doesn't measure up. As a true cinephile, I can't help but echo the acclaim that's been pouring in for The Dark Knight. Critics hail it as the ultimate Batman movie, and some even go so far as to call it the greatest superhero film ever made. Fans seem to agree, and I must concur. Nothing can ever live up to The Dark Knight. No director is deliberately trying to make another, but it would be correct to presume that Zack Snyder and Matt Reeves all wish their versions without as Nolan's work. Unfortunately, like the 2008 Oscar-winning film is the kind of production that is impossible to match. Still, fans and critics keep comparing every new film to Nolan's film. And as a result, many have failed to appreciate the vision that the latest filmmakers had in mind while telling their Batman stories. And C is that there is no proper continuity. Being a fan of Batman often involves accepting multiple film narratives, situation that fans of other franchises seldom encounter. But what's more frustrating is that most of these stories usually don't provide a satisfying resolution. Over the past few years, we've seen several Batman, each existing in separate storylines and then came the Joker films,
set within yet another distinct universe.
Which one to follow. It would be quite enjoyable to have one version of Batman for several years. Regrettably, that scenario seems improbable at this point. Despite the success of Matt Reeves' film, another Caped Crusader is still on the horizon in The Brave and the Bold. Moreover, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker won't be making an appearance in other universes because his character has perished. So we should anticipate a new iteration of the Clown Prince crime, likely in the one hinted at the end of the Batman. And 2 Batman's villains are overshadowing him because I think it's very impressive doing it. And is Batman still as influential as he used to be, or is his involvement less necessary these days? These are reasonable queries, given that there seems to be a greater spotlight on the villains rather than the Justice League's founder. When the cat is absent, the mice seem to have a lot more freedom. For instance, the Penguin appears to be prospering without Batman's meddling. And the Joker uh, performed admirably in the initial movie. Similarly, Harley Quinn made an impression in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Batman is no longer Gotham's MVP. And although Batman is often recognized as Gotham's leading hero, it seems he no longer takes center stage. But the above, in fact, his adversaries frequently steal the spotlight. Uh, this has been a consistent pattern since Tim Burton's. Uh, um, as a result, the acting awards are more likely to be given to those portraying the villains rather than the actors playing Batman himself. Um, on the other hand, in the DC universe, Superman, Flash, and Wonder Woman continue to be the main attractions in their respective territories. No villain of Superman can compare to him, and the same goes for the Flash and Wonder Woman. There is still no comic accurate live action film. One of the most baffling Batman related trends is that of every new director feeling the need to exercise their creative liberties as much as possible rather than stick to the stories already laid out in the comic books. The same cannot be said of the animated space, where most movies and shows are comic accurate. Um, Sticking to the pages, moving away from comics doesn't seem like a sound choice because they're more critically panned live action Batman films and TV shows compared to those that have been praised to. Instead, it would make sense to produce a direct adaptation of Batman the Killing Joke or Batman the Long Halloween, as this approach was successful for the Harry Potter and James Bond franchises, especially during their early stages.